Do we need to bless it?
Yes, please. Just, oh, there we go.
Yes.
All right, we are
Do
live.
we need to bless
Just
it?
needed to bless it. There it went. So yeah, so we're jumping on early because the time and zone date calculator thing got it all wrong for the Australian versus Pacific Standard Time. So it is 5:24
We,
instead of 8 p.m. my time. Um, and so yeah, if you are well, let me back up.
we're live.
Let me back up. So what this live is about is diving into light language, and if we have time, we'll do some soul readings. But I'm kind of feeling we are limited in time. I have to go pick up my kid from his play date. But yeah, so we're here to talk a little bit about light language and yeah, share what we know. Oh, my husband
Sorry.
just texted me and said he can go get Kaio. Yes, please.
Ah, that's
Hang
beautiful.
on. I'll say yes,
Thank you.
and that frees me up. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Sweet. There we go. Okay, things coming into order.
I know, and I was like, oh yeah, that's good because my babysitter's finishing around in the next hour or so, too. So it's we're on babysitter schedules here. We're parents.
Yeah, busy mamas. Oh, yay. Oh, thank you, Carl. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
beautiful.
yeah. So we were just live on Instagram. And so, yeah, Eiran, I just invite you spoke a lot about the difference between soul language and soul light language, um, which I'm sure people would love to hear. Some people are totally new to light language, had never heard of it. I mean, I will say I shared it with a friend, and I think she just thought it was a little bit cuckoo.
Yeah, it can be. I'm pretty sure, and I'm laughing because I'm
some
going
people
live to every person that I know because Facebook is like every person you know to say, "Hey, guess what? We're coming out. We've got light language." So it's an interesting concept, but it's not new because people have been speaking tongue in religion for many, 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 many centuries. It's just an interesting concept of how it works, and being a soul-led entrepreneur and yourself the same. Our connection with soul and our business and how we move in the world is only inevitable that our gifts are connected to this way of being, I suppose. And I'm a Tao Healing Hands practitioner, but I'm also a Tao Healing soul channeler, and I do soul language. So there's two different ways. First of all, I think I'll just chat a bit about the two things and the differences and what they are. Light language I experienced many years ago, and I have to remember because Tanya and I were literally having this conversation like an hour ago. So it's like we're starting anew. We've got new listeners. So we want to say, what is soul language and what is light language? And essentially, they're fairly similar. They're just bringing in different information. And they're directed and healing in different ways. But they are the same, essentially. And what it sounds like is you are speaking in tongue, like you're not speaking in another language when you're actually doing it. So it's like a soul. The soul is speaking through us and then out of our mouth. We translating it so that you can speak the soul language, and then you can translate it. Or some people don't need to speak the soul language. Some people are just getting the download and expressing it. They don't really understand or realize that they're actually already reading soul language as it's coming through their open spiritual channels. And having open spiritual channels personally, like I have been getting information since I was a child. And it was funny because we're talking about my first time I was on stage when I was about 6. And I remember standing up there, and I used to yawn when I was going to throw up. And my mother was at the end of the stage, and she's coming running because I started to yawn, and I threw up on stage. And it made me, now I've been doing a lot of development in my own spiritual channels around speaking out and putting it out in the world. So we're finally on stage. We're here today. Interestingly at the time, it was a lot of spiritual information, a lot of information I was receiving. And because when I was young, I didn't know how to deal with it. I would either sponge it in and it would become part of my own energy, and I would chameleon a lot of my life, or I would vomit it out. So I used to vomit a lot. And, energy shifts in many ways. It can come out of us in many, many ways. The body can purge, right? And so I remember standing, like, just being 6, but I didn't really understand. Now, when I look back and, feel into that time, I'm like, oh, you were receiving information, but you didn't know how to get it out. All this fear that was, there's 40 children standing on stage and all their parents are in the audience, and there's a lot of fear and anxiety, and I'm standing in the middle at the back, and I'm just like, so to the world, it looked like I was just throwing up and I was sick. But for a person who has open spiritual channels, it can be an interesting way. And so through my whole life experience, I had to learn, how do I channel these? Because there were some crazy times, let me tell you, in my younger years of exactly that, like not really understanding. Like I knew that as I got older, I knew things. I knew that I picked up on things, but I didn't realize how much I absorbed it until later on in life, and how much it was integrating into my energy, and how much I needed to cleanse my own energy. Because we don't really, no one's at school saying, hey, by the way, you need to clean your chakras because, you're picking up on all this information, or you need to cleanse your human design centers so that you're not sponging everybody's energy and then you're reflecting it out. Like there's this whole energy conversation that we need to teach, our young ones and ourselves, because no one's having conversations with, by the way, you have extra senses, or your senses are very high. Nowadays we're looking at, oh, that child's highly sensitive, but even that, we don't really, align with them to what that really means, and they're labeled with something else. And I'm not saying they're not that as well, but there's other ways to focus. And it's interesting, over my years of constellations and all my training for 15 years, a lot of mental illness comes from not understanding your open spiritual channels, not understanding that exchange we have energetically with other people, and also not having the energetic protection set up, or the boundaries to understand that exchange is happening. Even when we're intimate with someone, that exchange makes, we talk about people very open sexuality nowadays, and the crossover of energy, like you're constant clearing out stuff that's, you dated someone for a week or a night, and the energy exchange is there. So trusting and understanding that, this is where we start to look at how sacred we are, our bodies, our systems, our energy fields, and really honoring those. And it took me a long time to really understand that I had these spiritual gifts, and and I've mentioned to you before, Tanya, there's this love-hate relationship with them, almost because of the pain and suffering that they do have and sometimes do cause if you don't know how to use them well. And so my first experience with light language was very much similar to yours. It was quite spontaneous. Just was like, where is this coming from? I was meditating and chanting, and all of a sudden I'm like, blah, 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 it just started coming through. And that was like, oh, wow. And then about 3 years ago, I came across Dr. and Master Shah, and he is our master teacher for the Tao. And Tao is not religious. It's a system of really beautiful values, to be honest, like, compassion, love, humility, enlightenment, financial flourishing, there's the 10 Da that we practice. And forgiveness and things like that. So it's more of a spiritual journey as opposed to a religion. And he really opened my eyes to my other teachers in Australia at the time, they offered this open spiritual channels and soul language teaching. And I was like, oh, what's this? This might be good for me. And I constantly listen to my guidance, and it's like, I get nudged to something, I'm doing it. Like, it's like, yes, there's no hesitation. And so I did that, and I learned, first of all, how to open up my soul language channel. And we do that through chanting. So the energy of a light, and I experienced that with you before when we were on Instagram, of the light transmission. They're very similar things, but they're just honing in on your personal soul language, and then how you can use that to benefit others and heal the planet and raise the level of consciousness out in the world. And as you heard, sometimes the language for me was a light language, divine source energy coming through, and then other times it's more targeted depending on who I'm healing with and doing the exchange with of their, if it's a lot of time, if it's a personal one-to-one, I'm channeling their soul language to them, and it's the first time they're really experiencing their soul on a level that's greater than just like, oh yeah, I know I have this soul, like, where is it? It's very much a coming home kind of energy. And then also we were practicing some healings before, and they were just divine. So using that energy, it's the purest form of energy, because there's no ego. And we practice, we have to practice to keep in flow, that it's coming out of our message centers. The message centers are in your heart, and then there's other parts of the energy systems that bring in the language. So there's direct knowing, there's soul language, there's spirit opening your spiritual channels more. It was really interesting that about a month ago, I was in one of the trainings with our master teacher, Francisco, and I got a channel message, and it was like, Eiran, you have amazing open channels. If you do this, they will be 1,000-fold. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean more? I can't open more. And he's like, yes, there's always more. So it's like, you can always open to another layer of consciousness and always open to more light. I think that's the point. We're very dense, and we are matted versions. So getting the light in is also part of that journey of, the physical realm and the energetic realm, and how we bring those together. And soul language and light language is literally pure light form coming through. And so when we do soul language, or when I and Tanya in particular, when we're expressing it and we're using it, it's not only a channeled message, it is a healing. We were using it before. We had someone come on, they wanted to heal their nervous system, and Tanya was working on her TMJ. I used it as an example. We'll put that live up, link to that live as well, because it's really interesting just to witness and also feel. So there, soul light language and soul language, and where it came from, and my experience, and how I got there. And what about you, Tanya?
Yeah. So I would add too that, we are, there is a new energy system on the planet. It's a crystalline in nature. We are becoming more and more crystalline. And so what that system enables us to do is that we can hold so much more light without blowing our energy systems out, which, in the past, that was definitely something that could happen. And so now, which I find really interesting. I think that's why we're seeing so many more people showing up and sharing their light language. Because this was not something that was known to me. I mean, let me back up. It is known in certain, Christian, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say
religions.
Sects, but yeah, just, whatever. I don't know if it's the evangelists or whatever.
And you can go back in the Bible, and there's
there's evidence
Jesus
there,
was speaking tongue, and
right. But now it's becoming more universal. It's not just the Christian religion. My first experience of it was, my dark night of the soul, having these Christian men praying in tongues over me and instructing me to just they said, just start speaking. I'm like, what are, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is nuts. What are you talking about? I was like, really? Okay, whatever. But at that point, I didn't care. I was like, sure, I'll try anything. So I just let myself babble, quote unquote, and I could feel and see this darkness just leave, and the thing that what I've also come to experience is that it is definitely a way of um, dispelling darkness, which can, if somebody, especially if someone's got an addiction going on, oftentimes there's definitely dark entities that are attached to that person. And so the light language or the speaking in tongues, whatever, can literally, banish that dark energy so that the person then is free of it. I've experienced that. Um, and yeah, and so in the higher realms, this is what I was saying on Instagram, is that it is pure light, even though it is in those realms considered a language or a way of communication, but it is literally this moving light, and it's very fast and it's very high vibration. Um, yeah, beyond, it's just very high frequency. And so yeah, and so then it comes through into this realm. The only way we have to express it is through sound. We're not yet at that stage in this third dimension to emitting light, right? Visible light from our bodies, although I think someday we will.
Yeah, well, we do. I mean, Tao Healing Hands, we channel, like, the light comes through us to the person from our heavens teams. It depends on, I think, someone's open channels, like
Yeah.
whether you see something or feel something, or sometimes you won't feel anything, right? And then other times, so it's really what sensitivities. Like, I don't necessarily, it's really interesting. I see energy, but I don't see anything. It's like I can hold the energy like this and go, I see this energy here, and I can hold it. But it's not necessarily, like, I know what you're saying about, it's not like a physical, like, turn the light on. It's like, put the light on and you can see the light just physically, like we can see this cup,
Mhm.
It's a different experience in that physical realm, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right on. Um, yeah, and so it's just, what I love about it too is that it's completely un there's no limit, and it's like you said, it's always evolving. And it's very freeing. That's what as one who practices it does feel freeing. It's like there are no rules, so to speak, that you have to follow, or there's no one that you have to answer to. It's just you and your connection with source. And so yeah, and there is definitely a response that happens, for those, whoever is listening. I mean, even animals, too. I did a fun little TikTok video, and I was outside with, doing my light language toning and singing, and the animals respond. It's just like the little dog was just like,
Yeah.
looking at me, and just with such, like, the smile on her face, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But so it really is a way to not only heal ourselves and other humans, but also to bring that healing energy into nature, into our environment, with all creatures. So yeah.
Well, essentially, we're all connected, in that way, right? We, with the Tao, as I've said before, the Tao's not a religion, but it is a very much connected to Chinese medicine, which is, the elements and the world, and connected to healing the planet and raising consciousness. And I think, like, we believe in that everything has a soul. So anything that has a soul, you can communicate with, and you can exchange and heal. So whether it's a pet, we do land, we do trees, we do homes, anywhere that there's, we say, it's funny because my previous teachings, we would say dark energy, dark entities, that kind of thing. But we don't really label energy except for it being negative and positive. So it's information, negative information and positive information, and how that's expressing out of us. And then what we're seeing, because essentially if you're healing you, and then what you see out in the world, you're healing the world, because your perception of the world changes. And so there's this beautiful shift of, if I'm doing a healing, I'm healing myself and you. Like it's whether I'm healing myself or healing you, the energy is reverberating out into the bigger consciousness. So I think that's what I really love about it. And I have to ask you, we did a healing on your jaw before. How are you feeling?
Good. I feel good. Yeah.
Is your mouth feeling a bit more loosened?
Oh yeah, definitely less tension. Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I could feel the energy moving through here, and I could see it was interesting how different images came in and out. And to me, it's like you said, it's information that's being communicated to the body.
And it was funny, when I was doing the healing, I could see. So when I was starting, I was doing this, I was pushing energy away, like it was like holding like behind you. But even later on, like it was like there was, it was like it wasn't you clenching, it was like other people holding your jaw in place. It was really interesting. So it's not necessarily it was just energy holding this jaw so that you couldn't move. It's like, well, let's shift that out. And it opens up, like this is what we're looking for. We're not actually healing necessarily the issue. We're creating space for the energy to move so that it can heal itself. Like that's what you're doing. And when we, even in our invocation, we're calling in the issue and we're asking it to, everybody has the potential to heal and transform. Every soul, everything, whether it's your heart, whether it's your TMJ, whether it's your financial situation, it all has the ability to heal and transform itself. But when we do it together, so much more powerful.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you feel about just moving into doing a transmission healing for a bit here? Because I don't know if everybody's on right now. I'm not seeing any comments. So, but this will definitely be sent out and people can watch the replay and receive.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone jumping on yet. It is saying, hang on, let me go here. I've shared it out, and we've tagged followers and things if anyone's on live, letting you know we are going to do some live healings and some transmissions, and really for those who are live, if you want to receive, if it's not your game, you can jump off. You can say, no, I do not want to receive this. There is full permission in this work. It's not, we don't just say you have to have this. It's not that at all. It's very much permission based. So if you don't feel wanting to do that, then that's completely okay. And then if you do, let us know if you're jumping on in the comments. If you're watching the replay, we also want to know if you're in the comments as well, so that we can, that invites the energy in for any healings that we're going to do. So if you're wanting to receive, put your name in the comments, and you'll be added to any of the transmissions we actually do and receive the healings and the channeling. The other thing about the channeling of the soul languages and the light messages is that they aren't like, if Tanya just channeled for me as an example, which we can do, that'd be great. We did that on Instagram. The opposite, we'll do that for the audience. We'll start with that. You can channel for me, and then just to understand that, yes, she's channeling for me, but at the same time, it's for the wider audience. It's never just, oh, that's my message. It's you will feel a resonance. You'll hear it in a way where you're like, oh, that's for me too. Like you'll know in a different sense, and just trusting that if you're hearing it, you're there to receive it too. So If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay below and let us know if what resonates for you. And I think we'll start there. Do you want to start there with just a channel? We'll just do an exchange of like on Instagram. I did a healing for Tanya, and so now we're going to do it the other way and receive. I'm open to receive, of course. Do you need to know what I would like to receive a blessing or a healing for, or is it just a transmission? What would you like to offer?
Sure, you can ask for something specific, and if anything else comes through, I'll just share it. Yeah.
So I'm getting that I need, I'm very big on getting a soul message of what I need healing for, because my mind will be like, I need it for this, I need it for that, but my soul knows better, and it was for my heart. So I can always open my heart more, and that's part of my my spiritual journey.
So much. I was just actually literally, I love this. This is just so, it's so fun to be in relationship, because before you said that, I was already seeing your heart, the four directions in the heart coming through. So yes, beautiful. Awesome. Love that. Okay. So yeah, just I'll just say connect up in your own way, Eiran. You have your own way. And we'll just begin. There's a lot of expansion coming in, a lot of opening up. Shamakia karana shikiara no kuishina karishino kularia sapai shinia. Ushamakia rana shukuri shinakari shunumoy shikiara nanacho. Moyatara no kurma itiara na kurma kala shindia. Oana koidan diamae no ekerite tiara se oana yare tiara he there's an I that's coming through, seeing through your heart. Muyalahe, uyalahe, uyalahe, oyerai. Diamaye, uye, wananam. Gangayalahe, Diana, you do wish Kyakara Yokoromo Kakari, Suru, Shini, Shikarono, Shikiara no Mui, Uranamai, Ishanai, Ishanai, Ishanai. So what I'm seeing is just, it's so interesting. The eye of your heart. It's like waking up. It's giving, you have permission. Ooh, wow. Okay. Just the stars are just coming through, the galaxies, the light of the stars. I'm feeling this eye with light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How? Wow. It's so interesting. Like, so the heart in Tao is the message center. So it's the place where the soul speaks to you and then you translate them there. And I am very open in my spiritual channels, as we've discussed, but my seeing was blocked. It's always been blocked. It was just like, as in seeing physically, with the eyes. I know it sounds interesting, but I see things sporadically, and if I'm in a really like a level of sleep where I can literally see things happening, but I mean that between waking consciousness where I'm not really there energy, like my ego is not there,
Yeah.
and so this was fighting to go, and it was like that, and I was already there with that, my eyes like trying to move my eyes down to my heart. It was just like, come on, and it was like so focused on no, and it's so funny because when we're manifesting and we're trying to vision the future, if you're blocked in, you only have what you see, because that's what we think in the world, like we can get so, and I'm very open in that sense, but I obviously had a block around my own eyes. I could feel, I was just holding on. I was like, I'm not going down there. And then all of a sudden I kind of, when you said I can see an eye, and I was like, I can see, yeah, we were together. And then it opened, and I could see like the sun and the stars were flooding in, which I practiced in my journey anyway, like universes within universes and stars and galaxies within me. And all of a sudden, like this eye just started to open and flutter, like it was huge in my heart. It was like this eye was like, ooh. And it's still kind of doing it, still a little bit like, and there was a couple of jolts because my body jolts when energy leaves, and I was like, and so it was like really, it was like holding on. These eyes were just like, no, we don't want to leave. I was like, just you gotta go. And then it's like, hi, we're open. So it's very interesting. So yeah, beautiful, and it was spot on.
So exciting. This is so exciting. I mean, see, this is what is like. There's so much potential in the human being, so much more potential. And especially when we come together and we allow ourselves to really be open and authentic, right? Of just, okay, it's incredible. And I really do believe that we're going to just, the information and the knowledge, and it's just going to be like lit up on fire. I think we're going to see so much advancement, and just so much more development happening in the realm of healing and all that stuff.
With the Tao, we actually call it technology, Tao technology, because it's advanced information. We're getting information, like our Tao. It was funny when you said before with the soul language, there's no boundary kind of, which is true, because even with Tao healing hands, like I have heavens teams and I have rules. Whereas with the language, I can just chant and speak, and it blesses. Even if someone would just walk past and they were listening, like they're in the realm of it. But also, still permission for people to receive. Like they have to want to receive that, to hear it almost. Like you're not going to hear it if you're walking past and it's not on your vibration. But it doesn't mean it's not out there doing its thing. So even just sitting and chanting your own soul language is so powerful. For the vibration of the planet. But it is a technology. Like we get messages, like we can tap in. Like we did a healing before because our Mercury in retrograde had us on all different time zones and all different things, and the computers were discombobulating and nothing was working. And I'm like, let's do a healing chant, and then it's done. And I do that in business. Like I call in, like I do a soul almost marketing, and like calling in my soul resonant clients and calling in the people who are meant to work with and who I'm meant to collaborate with, and even just my day of walking around and doing my supermarket shopping, like it's such a powerful way. Like we do a forgiveness practice, and sometimes it's like, I know one of the master teachers was telling this story. They were driving somewhere and the car broke down, or it stopped, and they had something happened, and they're like, we couldn't get on their phone and everything, and they're like, let's just do a forgiveness practice. And then all of a sudden this like truck drove up and said, hey, you've got a problem with your car, like it was I mean, the truck may have drove up anyway, but the fact that they were like, we just need to forgive the car. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive anyone who we've ever hurt before in a car. Like it's this process of really aligning our souls, and we forgive across lifetimes, because you may feel like that you're a good person in this lifetime, but I'm pretty sure you or your ancestors may not have been so good in another life. So that negative information is often because of things that we've done.
Right. Yeah. Amazing. I love it with how much clarity that you're able to, what's the word, just elaborate and make it so clear for others to understand like what this is. Yeah.
My gift is my channel of, in human design, there's a channel 4226, I think, and it literally is the third eye to the mouth. And now that I've opened my heart one, it's probably going to be even better.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you saw it the same. The same thing I saw was this eye with a, kind of like waking up and going like, oh wait, where am I? Like, what's going on here? That was awesome. Yeah, that was really, I just love it. Okay, so,
thank you,
Eiran. Thank you so much. I just find it amazing how we've connected, and we didn't talk about light language before, and then suddenly we're like, oh wait, you do that too? Oh my gosh, like what?
I have a repertoire.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And it's funny because I did my bio and I switch and change my repertoire. Back then I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing constellations back then, and now I'm like, well, now I'm doing something completely different. Because I integrate all of the tools that I have, I think. And it was funny because I saw your live. I just happened to be like, jump on, and you were there, and I was like, yeah, let's talk.
Totally.
Follow the guidance. So what about if we do a soul blessing for everybody who watches the replay? So the way this works is what's a good way to do it is we could do a channel message as well. So we'll see what comes through. But what we're going to do is, if you put in the chat your name, or, just comment yes, because you're in Facebook. On Instagram, it's a bit harder because people's profiles are like not your name necessarily. So it's like comment your name, and and saying your name out loud to receive is permission. And also commenting below. So you can heal anything, right? We can heal. We don't say stop. We're not claiming to heal, but we can offer you light to support your healing journey. And so what we like to do is, so with the Tao, it's mostly, we don't have a list of you can'ts. It's just what you can. And it's literally, you can do health issues, body, mental illness. You can do, so anxieties, depressions. You can do emotions. So say you want to be more confident, or I did a healing on a client yesterday and around her confidence in selling online. And you can do it for flourishing. So you could do your finances. You could bless your financial situation. You could bless your business. You could bless your relationship. If you're going to do a relationship, it's one person or one entity of some kind. So it's your relationship to your business. These are just a name. You can do energy systems. So you can do nervous system, heart, body parts, pretty much anything. There's no, you can bless your house if you're feeling like that needs a blessing. You can just choose what is resonant. If you don't know, you can just say to the divine, you choose, and you'll probably get like I did before. I was like asking my soul, like, what is it that I need? Not necessarily what I think I want. What is most appropriate for me right now? And so put that in the comments as well of what that is. And then we ask you just to relax, sit back and receive, and notice anything that comes into your body. If you do not notice any changes to yourself, that is completely okay and normal, as well as if you receive like your own downloads through the exchange. If you resonate, if you want to put anything into the comments, you can let us know. But let us know how you feel after the blessing as well, and comment if you had a shift. We had a person before who did their nervous system, and they came on afterwards saying, oh, they were so much calmer, and which is the whole point of getting healing in your nervous system, is to not be so buzzed. And it was very much about grounding and things. So we welcome you to join us, anyone who's watching the replay at this point in the replay. And yeah, do you want to take the lead on this, Tanya, or we do this together?
Gosh, I really loved since I opened up the last one. You can you lead us in your?
Sure, I'll call in because I closed off the Instagram energy, so we're going to call in the heavens teams, anyone who supports us, the universe, the Mother Earth, our own souls. I'm going to call in my soul language. I'm going to call in my soul language channel. I'm going to turn on my Tao light transmissions for my soul language, because that will boost the energy as well, which is always beautiful. And this is a one-time blessing for those who are watching the replay and are here live. And whether you're live now or if you're watching the replay, including us. So we are going to do healing for a one-time blessing for whatever you've commented below. And we will begin. Now, just before we begin, we did a little bit of chanting before, so there'll be chanting. There may be soul language coming through, and different aspects of us also translating messages that come through as well, if they do. So we welcome, and just sit back and relax and receive. How starts. This is the divine. Children, people of planet Earth, divine children of God, we welcome you into the world. I'm seeing pregnancy. I just want to say that. I'm seeing pregnancy. I'm seeing women, their wombs, the power of their wombs, the power of the healing energy, the power of the soul, and understanding that if you're watching this, that you are here for a reason. You are here to transmit and birth a new earth, a new consciousness, a new divine space of equality, union, divine light, as we elevate the planet, as we elevate our souls, breaking the chains that hold you back, releasing the karmas, releasing the traumas, beginning to be in the abundant life and self that you have become here to achieve. This is my message to you, and this is your soul's journey. How? Oh, we lost Tanya. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I had my eyes closed, so I didn't realize we lost her. I'm not quite sure if she's going to get back in, but we'll see. I will continue. I was like, this is the message. And Hal, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. I apologize. It's 4444 on the clock. So I had my eyes closed while I was doing the blessing. So I didn't realize that she dropped out. Obviously, it's such a powerful blessing. It wasn't able to keep her on the line. But that's okay. I am deeply grateful for all of you who've watched. If you have a comment below. Let me know how you feel, if you felt anything. Remember, it's okay if you didn't. And trust, this is for you, and we welcome you into our world. If you are wanting to join us further and experience the light language or soul language yourself, you can meet with both. You can meet with both Tanya and I, and we're available. So reach out. We will come on, and we're probably going to do some more of these. And we're even discussing a little collaboration at the moment, or a big collaboration, I'm going to say. The energy is always so powerful and divine. And I trust that where everything happens exactly as it is meant to. And I'm just seeing if she's, let me see if she's going to pop back on before I call this a moment. If you have any questions about soul light language or soul language, drop them below, or you can reach us in our DMs. We're open, and we will see you in the future. Thank you so much. Hal, gong song, all souls respectfully return. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Enjoy. I don't know how to turn.